All right, happy Sunday. We just finished doing a little back-to-back. DJ
Hell yeah, A-list.
DJ A-List is here. I'm Cristi Hernz. This is Girl Chat. I have Sarah Chan as well.
What's going on, guys?
And Pilhi.
Pilhi Violet.
Pilhi.
Pilhi Violet.
You gotta say it in the...
Pilhi Violet.
Pilhi Violet here with Girl Chat. And we're just getting started. Today's the launch. And throughout this season, you're gonna be meeting a lot of females in the industry. And we're just using this as a safe place to talk and express ourselves. So I'm excited to get into the chat. And to start off, this is the first episode, so Anonymous Frequencies is a brand to free up that social fear so that we can just speak and talk about our experiences as women. And I'm so happy to have all of you here with me
Thanks for having me.
and having this mission
Thank you.
be launched and to hopefully help a lot of women around us that can watch this and just keep learning based off our other experiences that we share. So we're gonna get right to it. Anonymous Frequencies, Girl Chat, episode 1. And I would like to know a little bit about you, A-List, DJ A-List. Tell us your full background and everything.
So, my name's Alyssa. A-list is short for Liss, I guess you could say. The A part's like, hey, let's get this party started. So just a little bit about me. I'm originally born and raised in New York, moved to New Jersey, lived there for about 20 years. And my dad was a DJ back in the day, so it really motivated me to want to learn. During COVID, he got all the new equipment. He was playing on vinyl, so it's, you know, placing that CD, finding the right cue, all that. That's complicated. I don't know about that yet. But anyways, he taught me everything that I needed to know about DJing and then took it upon doing it in New Jersey. Wasn't the type of scene that I wanted. So I'm like, going to Music Week, like I gotta move here.
Oh, you came to Miami for Music Week?
I did, yeah. And I just set aside one day, went out, and just started looking at apartments.
Oh, nice.
Landed the apartment, and I was like, let's go. Yeah, it was.
Never come back.
Oh my God. I'm never going back. I love it here.
Yeah.
Never. This girl next to me went to high school with me. We found
That
out.
is so true.
We
How
found
high
out
school, baby? Let's go.
through Christy. So 732 takes over 305.
732 takes over 305, baby.
We're gonna break the internet. Oh my God. Anyway, so I specifically moved here to pursue my career more. And then coming here, I met one of the most amazing people. Not one of the most. I met the amazing people in the industry, and I've been so blessed. And my career went from here to here when I moved here, and people are on the same page, want the same goal. So I'm really happy and blessed, to say the least.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, number one. My name is Sarah Chan. I moved to Miami about 5 months ago. I'm originally from the same town that Alyssa is. Actually, I'm born in New York and then raised in Jersey, Howell, New Jersey to be specific. Moved here for the same reasons that Alyssa did, and I wanted to move to Miami to grow my company. I have a full-service copywriting agency, and I've been in Florida for almost a little bit over 3 years now. But I moved to Miami about 5-6 months ago, and like Alyssa said, I really don't think I'm ever gonna be moving back to New Jersey. But it's been great here. I moved here to pursue the advancement of my career, but also to find new connections that I knew weren't possible where my parents live. They live on the west coast of Florida, and become the next female multimillionaire in my family, which it hasn't been done, you know, in Chinese culture, because my dad's from Hong Kong. It's not widely talked about that women, you know, go out there and pursue massive accomplishments in their careers. You know, we're taught as women to stay at home, raise a family, take care of the house, take care of the kids, which is fine. But I wanted something different for my life, and I decided to become an entrepreneur this year and start my company from scratch and pursue things that I wanted to since I was 5 years old. I've always known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that's why I moved to the city, is to be around people like myself that had the same ambition and same drive.
Amen.
Preach, preach. Well, thank you for sharing your story and what brings you to the couch. See, we all have different sides, but we all relate in that sense, and it's all for wanting better versions of ourselves so that we can attain better levels. And we're gonna keep talking more into all of that. So, Pilhi, if you can give everyone an introduction as.
Bueno, soy Pilhi Violeta y tengo una agencia de DJ y acá la idea es que es una radio de Miami, entonces no vamos a hablar todos en inglés, hablo en español, porque sea español-inglés, todas hablan español.
Una excepción con ella.
No, no, pero
Y si no, que
no,
aprende.
pero un poquito, entiende.
Pero es Miami, so.
Sí, es Miami, tienes que aprender, sí, sí. Bueno, la idea de la agencia de DJ que la creé hace como 8 meses es porque me encanta la música. Desde que soy pequeña es como que escucho todos los sonidos, como todos los que están. Entonces, para elegir música soy buena, parece. Y ahora lo que estoy empezando a hacer es producir música, pero lo que me gusta hacer es producir la música como la base de la música y poner frecuencias que puedan sanar a la gente. Entonces, yo pongo la base.
Music healing.
Exacto. Sí. Me parece interesante porque la música te puede o dar todo para que puedas sanar o también te puede poner en ¿no? en un mood así heavy, todos lo sabemos. Y como los DJs lo que hacen es manejar a las masas, está bueno que puedan poner este tipo de sonidos para que puedan sanar, ¿no? Para que puedan estar mejor, esa es la idea. Cuando empecé esto de los DJs, todos me decían, uy, pero ese mundo es como todo el mundo se droga, todo el mundo se mete cosas. Yo no tomo alcohol, yo no tomo drogas. Me gusta la música. No quiere decir que porque hagas ciertas cosas tenés que estar etiquetada de una manera. No estoy juzgando, cada uno puede hacer lo que quiera de su vida. O sea, yo no puedo decir, no, aquel se droga, no, es su vida. Tengo que respetar, pero me decían, no puedes hacerlo, vos no puedes tener una agencia, no puedes ser DJ. ¿Por qué no? O sea, ser mujer, soy mamá de 2 niñas. Ser mujer, estar sola, tener 2 niñas es complejo para cuando querés hacer una carrera linda, ¿no? Orgánica, bien, sin comprar miles de followers. Y ayudando también a otras chicas, porque veo que ahora todo el mercado de DJs es, por un lado, se paga mucho más a los hombres, no sé por qué. Y no hay muchas chicas DJs que hayan como sido suces, ¿no?
Sí.
O sea, ayer, por ejemplo, fui con una amiga a ver a Blondish, que es amorosa, es puro amor. Y bueno, pero ella es una de las, pero la mayoría son hombres. Que no es una competencia, esto digo que también son buenos, pero en sensibilidad y musicalmente las mujeres están como más adaptadas para los sonidos, me parece. Sí. Ahora me vienen unas bombas.
No,
¿Qué está diciendo?
Es algo nuevo también. We're talking about time periods. She's talking about the development of women in the industry. Yeah. That Blondish is someone that she saw yesterday, but she happens to be one of the few that is up there.
She understands everything.
She went to space, yeah. You too? She's like, you went to space?
Mami. Sí, mami.
A-list heard the A. But that point is that luckily we have Blondish to look up to because it's a time period that's changing. Women are now able to hop onto the decks as usual. I started DJing when I was 11 years old. So 15 years ago, I'm not that old, but like it's been 15 years since I started
Ya sos
DJing.
una señora grande.
So, yeah, from there, I didn't know, like, I was just DJing. I didn't consider myself anything compared to anybody else. I was just doing my thing in my house or in all the parties. I played all over Miami, but it was just like within my circles. And at the end of the day, like, those years, I mean, what it could be is that I didn't it was very hard for me to find a DJ. It wasn't, I stayed independent because I guess I never related to the DJs. I never saw like a female DJ. I knew Dead Mouse, I know like Swedish House Mafia. I knew a few of those names because of my brothers and Ultra. With being in Miami, I would hear about Ultra, but funny thing is, this whole time I was a DJ and I never cared to go to Ultra. Or like, I had friends going in high school, you know, you're not supposed to go at that age, but I had the opportunity to go. But if I was a DJ, you would think now, compared to my mindset now, it's like, no, I gotta go. Like, that's part of me. Back then, that was like another play date. And so that's what I'm seeing right now, why we're here.
Sí, lo que te quería contar es que al principio cuando yo posteaba a Blondish, primero porque es mujer me decía, ¿por qué pones esa DJ? No es ni DJ y no tiene, o sea, no es un concepto DJ, porque ella lo que hace es crear como música interesante y pone otros sonidos, ¿no? Pero primero me hablaban horrible de ella, horrible, ¿pero por qué? Porque se ve que no están acostumbrados a ver no sé, alguien tan feminista o lo que sea, ¿no? Pero yo creo que ella es puro amor. Pero al principio me decían, nah, esa es una DJ, sacala, no sirve.
Un DJ.
O un DJ. ¿Qué lo dijo?
Un DJ.
I think to add on to that, I think the problem is that we've created the stigma about women in the workplace that they're not as capable as men are. And unfortunately, you know, shout out to the men out there that have paved the way for women to, you know, get to the level that we are at. But you guys can't consistently keep telling women that we can't do something and that we're too masculine, we're too this, we're too that. I'm like, because at the same time, like, it was a guy who passed the law to allow women to vote, if I'm not mistaken. It was a guy who also allowed women to attain a higher education degree. So with that being said, to point out the obvious, is men who are in the road of women advancing in the workforce. For me personally, you know, I've been to multiple networking events here in Miami. Every single one I've gone to, I've at least been hit on one time here. And the problem with that is that I'm not there to find my soulmate. I'm there to make some money. Like, I'm there to find clients, and I'm there to get referral partners. So at the end of the day, you can't consistently think that, like, oh, women are not as capable as men are. And we are. We're paving the way, and I think especially in the female DJ space, like, women are severely advancing, like, at an expedited rate. It's never been seen before that the advancement in woman-made music, like, bro, like, it's sick to see now.
And I think just piggybacking off of that, I think we were given the right to vote and all of that in like the 70s, right? I don't know specific timelines, but I think it's something like that. You know, yeah. Just growing up, you know, I'm used to seeing like the woman not working and the man doing everything, but I think it's important, you know, all these years, like my mom worked, but she didn't work for a while, and me being motivated, I wanted to be the first millionaire in my family, which I think it's gonna happen. And I am the oldest sibling, so I have to set an example. My middle brother has a business he's thriving in. He's 21 years old, has entrepreneurial mindset. But, you know, typical old school parents, pressure to go to college. I did that. I did a trade in high school where I was in cosmetology school. That didn't work out. So then I went to college, and then I was pressured to know what I wanted to do in my life, and I didn't. So now, you know, being in debt over college, and then not finding a job in that, and now DJing, where I really do see the full potential. Because, not to brag, I'm not bragging, but I've only been DJing 2 years, and people that have been in the game a while say that you're DJing like someone that's been playing for 10 years. So, I mean, I feel like it's in my blood to make it to that level, but now I'm starting to take production classes. I'm learning that end of the route to make my own music. And, you know, women can do anything they set their mind to, so.
I think another great point she brought up too is that, you know, the family dynamic in my house, my father is the breadwinner still to this day, goes out, works, brings all the money home. My mom stays at home. You know, now she's got a job because my sister's, you know, going off to college, and now she's going to get bored. But still, like, you know, the very traditional gender roles of women staying at home and taking care of the kids, and my father going out and getting the money is exactly what I grew up with. And, you know, my mom went to me personally, and she was like, don't limit yourself just because you think that you can't do something. It's like, go out, get a career, get yourself financially stable before you meet the love of your life, because of the fact that if you don't have that together, unfortunately, the divorce rate for women, and yes, women do start 80% of the time in divorce. However, I think that also men are so caught up with how they feel and how they need to be that breadwinner. And you know what? Instead of actually just carrying the sole weight of making the money at home and then taking it out on your wife and kids when you get home, when you're tired, you're this, you're that, guess what? There's 2 people in that house that can work. Let your wife help you, because intellectually and emotionally speaking, she's probably going to be smarter than you and know how to handle psychology better than you, because women are naturally more nurturing and emotionally more capable of handling business negotiations. It has been proven in books, studies, and everything along the lines that women naturally are better negotiators than men, period.
Critical thinkers.
Amazing critical thinkers.
Bueno, en mi caso, que soy madre sola y que tengo 2 niños, tengo que hacer todo sola. Es como que no hay una ley que puedas obligar al padre a que venga a ver a sus hijas. O sea, por más que te hagas acá por lo menos en la Florida, tú te divorcias y te dicen, bueno, una semana con el padre o una semana con la madre. Ok, entonces el niño va de acá para allá, a ver, psicológicamente ya se vuelve loco. Pero, ¿qué pasa si el padre, porque la mayoría de la gente acá es inmigrante, qué pasa si el padre se va a otro país? Ya no lo puedes obligar. Ya no tiene... Yo no hablo en mi caso porque, bueno, el padre se ocupa de mandarle su child support, bueno, y eso, pero creo que la cantidad de tiempo que debería ver a mis hijas... no cumple con esa cantidad, digamos. Así que si me están... No es algo personal, pero digo, hablo con respecto a todas las mujeres de acá. O sea, ¿quién las ayuda? Les tienen que dar educación a los... ¿De qué parte? Claro, ¿cómo haces? Encima tienes que ser mujer, obviamente no querés estar con nadie, con ningún hombre, porque no tenés ni tiempo. Tienes que ocuparte de tu carrera, de lo que te guste, de tus hijos primero, de lo que necesitan, de sus emociones, de todo, de cuidarlas acá, porque bueno, sabemos cómo es. Nada, eso, para compartir algo un poco personal.
But that's a good point, because I came from a background in education. I taught kindergarten, so 5-year-olds. I taught kindergarten for 4.5 years. And I learned a lot about just responsibilities in life. My responsibility was just in the classroom, right? But my responsibility doesn't flow until I understand the responsibilities at home for each kid and their families. And so for me, when I hear that happens, it's unbelievable what you learn happening as a teacher. You learn a lot more is happening around you at once than you would know just being you in society. You
I
know?
would agree with that. I think that there's a lot of pressure as women for us to settle down and have kids, and I can sit here honestly that I'm in no financial or desirable position to have kids on myself at 25. I think that, you know, the problem is that a lot of women are having kids later because, one, we don't feel financially stable to bring a child into a world where they're going to be financially looked after, or the time that it would take to, you know, we're growing as people, you know, so I don't think that myself, personally speaking, I'm not in an emotional position to be able to give the child the love and attention that he or she deserves, personally, because I'm not fully grown yet.
And that goes into the aspect of time period and our development into women speaking more and doing more.
100%.
So that goes into the idea that women are waking up,
Yeah.
basically. I actually, one of my songs in my EP, Salvate is basically the word in Spanish, salvate, save yourself,
Si puedes.
in a version of my energy, which is selva. So I put selva sound with the term save yourself, salvate. And my songs basically just represented the time period of me waking up, which is where we hear the story of what happened to me in the scene and the industry. I recorded a self-interview that I'm going to be broadcasting, and I posted on Instagram publicly a snippet of my story. And unfortunately, you see everything we talk about in women and what we have that pressure on us for, but then it shows you the disrespect of all of a sudden, for me, ending up on a bathroom floor when I'm just trying to succeed. And I say bathroom floor because I publicly posted this week what happened to me in March. Unfortunately, I was hosting a party and I ended up in the bathroom floor, blacked out, being helped to survive what had seemed like someone drugged me, and I was unconscious on the floor at my own party. But I wanted to tap into that just because the idea goes to show of women just attempting to work, yet somebody tried to take away that. They disregarded what I was putting all my energy and workforce towards, to the point that they wanted to take advantage of me because that's what they think they should do. And that's where the minds are not clear on women having the same equal ability to just work. And it pushed me even more into my purpose at the end of the day. So for me, I saw it as a blessing in disguise. It showed me what I need to focus on and what not. Because unfortunately, we're gonna have obstacles always, but you can limit the obstacles by where you place yourself. And you can limit the obstacles by being aware and putting in the effort to have everything in your direction and the direction you want it to go to. And as a woman, you're always gonna be in defense, no matter what. And defense is just a matter of, defense is like a character trait that we have. We're nurturers, yeah, but women need to be defensive mentally because unfortunately that's not something you learn automatically.
No, exacto. Y estábamos hablando de que era tu party, o sea, que invitaste a gente que supuestamente eran tus amigos, donde son personas que, las personas que te rodean son las que te tienen que cuidar. Exacto, y le estás dando tu espacio, tu lugar, los estás invitando, o sea, y te ponen cosas en, o sea, te querían matar directamente, o sea.
For sure. It was, as a woman, it
Se olvidó.
As a woman, it turned, the whole experience turned more into being a woman and eliminate the music. It just seemed like someone wanted to hurt me as a woman. Because at the end of the day, my car key was taken by the individuals. My friends took the car key back, supposedly. Why would you want my car key? My house keys were missing. My house keys are missing. These are personal items of mine. So if you're taking all my personal items, all you needed was my phone. Thankfully, that wasn't taken, but... And you didn't even know what happened because once that you attempted something, even my body didn't know what happened.
Unfortunately,
So
I think that, drugging people, and most of the times it does come from men. Like if you're a girl, you show up to a party, you go drink, guys are more likely inclined to slip something in your drink, and I think it's awful because of the fact that for whatever prowess that you do think that you are entitled to or you need to because of whatever dominant trait you have, I've seen people get drugged. I myself think I have been drugged at least once, and it happens more often than it is actually talked about, and it's unfortunate because this is 2024 going to 2025. Why is this still happening?
I think that it's also because men cannot truly approach a girl. They have
100%.
issues, and I've always seen it. It's always the girl going up to the guy now because these guys are
Preach.
too, they're too full of themselves. So they're like, yeah, the girl can come up to me, yeah, exactly. And then they'll be like, oh, bro, she came up to me,
I think that, just to
Fuck outta
piggyback off what Liz said, I think the problem is now, if you look at the whatever podcast, the Fright and Fish podcast that's here in Miami, if you look at all these alpha male podcasts, they speak one thing about women and they degrade people that do have OnlyFans, which I highly agree with. However, yet you're telling women that they can't go out and go get careers. They need to settle down. Men are naturally looking for somewhat of an 18 to 25-year-old, which is statistically when men think that women are at peak attractiveness. And I'm like, well, you're also saying that women can't do this, women shouldn't be able to do this, women shouldn't be able to do that. So, bro, make up your mind because you're confusing an entire generation.
So true.
You're confusing the entire generation.
And I feel like men target the younger groups of
100%.
women because they're not, fully mature with understanding the generation. They're like, oh my God, he loves me, he wants to take me out. No, girl, he's just trying to get down your pants. Let's be real.
The only reason why men want an 18
from where we came from.
Exactly. The only reason why a man would ever want an 18 to 25-year-old is one, they are highly manipulable because of the fact that they don't have experience in the real world, and two, that she is at her peak fertility. That is it. That's the only reason why they would ever want a girl that is at that age. Manipulable and at peak fertility. That's it. Because after such point, a man's fertility goes down at some point. But at that point, I'm sorry, she's only dating you for your money. Straight up. You can either hate me or love me for that, but I will leave it at that.
Thank you. I'm gonna now get us into another angle.
Sí, por favor, Sara. A ver, vamos a organizar un poco. Bueno, los hombres están criados por las mujeres, ¿verdad?
Yep.
Entonces creo que el problema viene como desde hace mucho. Pero no, a ver, para no tratar de arreglar, porque tampoco. Bueno, pero lo que quiero decir es, yo generalmente me fijo en los hombres que respetan a sus madres y que las cuidan y las protegen y las escuchan y las apoyan, pero tiene que haber una figura paterna porque la madre no puede hacer todo. Entonces, si ves que un hombre cuida a su madre es porque también va a cuidar a una mujer y va a respetar a todas las mujeres. Ahora lo que decía ella anteriormente, que decía que los chicos de esa generación que vienen ahora dicen, pero eso pasa, eso pasa porque, o sea, ¿qué posibilidades tienen ahora los niños que solamente están con el teléfono todo el día así y que miran cosas que no son reales? Entonces, claro, ayer hablaba con una amiga que es una diosa, que la vamos a invitar porque es espectacular. O sea, si esa mujer no puede conseguir un hombre que la cuide, que la respete y que la mime, lo que sea, porque es una diosa por dentro, por fuera, entonces, ¿qué le queda al resto de las mujeres? Y me decía que ella por ahí conocía a algún hombre que no le hacía pagar la mitad o le hacía esperar un montón o era agresivo, o la controlaba, o le decía, tú eres una... ¿Qué? ¿Cómo un hombre te puede decir una cosa así? Entonces, bueno, cambiando lo que decía Sara, los hombres son criados por las mujeres, entonces hay que ver qué le faltó a esa mujer para que no pudiera criar bien a su hijo, ¿no? Porque después nos lo mandan a nosotros para que terminemos de criarlos y nosotras no somos mamás.
Yeah, it's like a rotation of what was missing from that side of women, that era of women in their life, and then if we don't put a stop to it and speak messages out to the public coming from women directly, then people don't know.
Someone said something very interesting to me the other day, and I happen to agree with this, is that someone said that women now want to have careers because we woke up and saw all of our mom's mistakes by not having one. And, unfortunately, there's no shame in being a stay-at-home parent. I think that's the most admirable job you can have as a human being, is being a stay-at-home parent. However, that's not always certain. If you look at Pilhi's, situation, she was that person that stayed at home, and unfortunately, things didn't work out with her ex-husband. But now she's got to start from scratch. Had she built her career to, its true fruition, then she would have been set and ready to go. God forbid, something was to happen. It's unfortunate now.
Yeah, it goes into the side of what you thought was right, and then now you get to do what you know is right. And your way. And that's the difference. Like, it's just taking a lot of people, a lot of women, a little bit of extra time to understand that their way is just like any other way. And that's why we're here. We're expressing ourselves so that we can show we relate to every other woman, because we all think the same as women. Yeah. We care for each other. We find out that we're working on something and we're like, how can I help you? That's just how women are. It's like they call it like the what I think of is like, as a kid, I remember the moms coming together to plan whatever. It's the moms, right? Because they're all home or they're all available. It's like the PTA moms, I think of myself as a PTA mom mentally, like, because I'm always planning, I'm always utilizing the mindset of planning for the group. But being a PTA mom is just taking the women, it's just grabbing the women who were at-home stay moms and putting them in opportunity to do something. Yeah. But the PTA was the way to do it. Now we do it in real life.
The PTA in the real life.
You see? PTA moms were just trying to enforce that real life of women basically running this shit. Yeah.
Ahora, en este momento de que estamos viviendo económico en todo el mundo, no creo que haya ninguna, o debe haber, no sé, muy poquitas mujeres que se quedan en su casa y cuando el esposo va a trabajar y ella cuida a los hijos, ¿no? Es como que ya esa forma ya fue desapareciendo. Aunque se supone que es como lo más normal, como decían antes, porque la mujer tiene un montón de responsabilidad para cuidar a los hijos. Yo me doy cuenta con mis hijas que todos los días, igualmente aprendo con ellas, porque esta generación vienen así como más inteligentes, pero me muestran mis errores, aprendemos juntas, bueno, es un desafío todos los días. Pero bueno, tengo la suerte de que son educadas, son buenas. Pero sí, es verdad, las PTA, yo soy una de ellas. Voy al colegio, vamos. Sí, pero
That's
entiendo
because
el
you want to
concepto.
be involved.
Sí, entiendo el concepto, que es como... Pero eso deberían enseñar en los colegios.
Claro.
En los colegios en los colegios
No.
te enseñan cosas que es cómo ganar dinero, cómo puedes ser un empleado para el futuro.
Bueno,
o sea,
yo lo vi por mi experiencia de niña, porque mi mamá era part of the PTA. She was the treasurer. Le tocó. My brothers and I are 4 years apart, each of us. So my oldest brother's 32. So it took her 4. So 12 years of being a PTA mom. She would go on the same trip. She would go on the same fourth grade
nunca
trip
descansaba.
3 times.
Claro, nunca descansaba.
Ella fue en el mismo viaje de fourth grade 3 veces. Fue. So I
Sí,
saw like
sí,
the involvement, but what is it to me, you know? It was just putting yourself.
Me gusta lo que dices del concepto de eso del PTA Mom, porque en realidad el mundo debería de ser así. Yo
Exactly.
te ayudo, tú me ayudas. Si no es que yo te ayudo y estoy esperando en sacarte algo, que eso es lo que escuché mucha gente decir
It
eso.
shouldn't take
Acá.
a PTA. It shouldn't take the PTA to give you that opportunity to help. It should be able to be done. You driving in your car, coming up with an idea, and that's gonna be not until I'm on a PTA, not until I'm a mom, and then no, you should have that advantage of thought process and work ethic as a woman living life. That's what I was getting at with that. So,
Okay.
and then I mean we can go into a different topic now that right? Because we talked about like the childhood and the development and all of that. So I would say like now that we've spoken our views and beliefs and our awareness on things, let's dive more into the sense of being a woman in your industry, like where you place yourself in your life. Okay? Because I know you're going to be speaking from your point of view of a startup and an entrepreneur more. And yeah. So,
Okay.
you got it?
Yes. So I had plenty of jobs throughout graduating high school, college. Never really found that niche, but now that I've found it, now that I've progressed it, I guess it's just finding that middle ground, because obviously, you're not going to get paid $400,000 for a show until you're more well known. You have 1,000+ tracks made of your own original songs. So I guess like maybe I've been having issues trying to find something where I could work during the week, make the money that I need to make, and balancing DJing, because my previous job, I was a brand ambassador doing outside sales, driving around the whole tri-state of New York, New Jersey, Delaware, like everywhere. My next destination, one stop say was an hour and a half from my house. Then the next stop was 3 hours away. It was just too much physical work, too much time behind the wheel. So, I could put that job, and I feel like it's just a pattern with me. I don't know what to do to make the money I need to make, but not distract me from DJing, because every single job I've had distracted me, and it's putting me back. And yeah, I mean, just trying to find,
What would it be something you feel like as a woman? Do you feel like, does it change? Do you feel different being a woman? Yeah. Going through what you're going through and your experience.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I was always into music, always going out to raves, concerts, all that type of stuff. But I guess being a woman in my industry, it's definitely hard. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there was people that fucked me over, and I've learned from it. I learned, I'm not gonna mention names, but back in Jersey, I was working for this guy under his agency. And, he was saying he was going to take me in, he was going to mentor me, he was going to give me more gigs, whatever. Did about maybe 10 or 11 gigs from him, never got paid. So I've experienced a lot of that in this industry, and I think that's what kind of discouraged me a little bit. But being a club DJ, you're not always going to get paid unless you're the headliner. So that's the thing I've been struggling with too. But now my main goal is to just be like direct support for an artist. I mean, because those are paid usually, but yeah, exactly. But being a woman in this industry, it's very hard. Men look down on you or just want a piece of ass to get you a fucking gig. I mean, excuse my language, but I've dealt with it, and it sucks. They don't see the potential. They just see that you're a hot girl, you're sexy. Yeah, I could put the rhythm, I can make everyone dance, but just give me a shot. Like, it's like...
First of all, fucking preach. Fucking preach. I think for me, I've always, like I said, I've always known that I want to be an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was 5 years old. With that being said, I've always had commission-only jobs. Like, I got into the restaurant industry when I was 19 years old. I've been working for my father. I've been working for my dad. I think maybe I was 14 or 13 years old when I started working for my father. And really, really working. I know how to drive a forklift and everything. And I think for me, sales is naturally something I'm so good at because I'm so good at talking to people. And that's 90% of the battle, I'd say. So I think for me, going into the restaurant industry and learning how to talk to my tables was that push I needed to be able to now do sales professionally and now be a founder and a CEO of a company. And like Alyssa said, unfortunately in business, when you're a female and you're a founder and a CEO of a company, they're just looking for a piece of ass. Like I said, in networking events here, I've been hit on more times than I would like to admit. And it's degrading and very unfortunate because I am no better than you. I am your damn equal. That is it. Because I'm there for the same fucking reason that you're there. I'm there to make money. I'm there to find clients. And it's hard because you're looked down on. There is no reason why you should be looked down on as a woman who's literally trying to build a brand and a name for herself. And it's unfortunate that men think that you can't be their fucking equal. Bro, I am your damn equal. And either get with the program or step aside, because I'm not going to stand here and you're not going to be in my way. They're and not only that, they're intimidated by a woman being at the same level that they are. And I've seen it personally here in Miami specifically, that when you're on par intellectually and emotionally the same as a guy, they get intimidated by that. It's not that they're not attracted to that. They're intimidated by it because they're like, what the fuck am I going to bring to the table? Not just in relationships, but in business as well. They don't know what to do with something like that.
Wow, lo que decía Ali antes es que sí es muy difícil para ella siendo mujer y porque si te pones sexy parece que estás pretendiendo otra cosa. Bueno, eso no puede pasar. Es ilegal, o sea, no puede pasar eso, no te pueden, o sea, ¿quién hace una cosa así? Yo que tengo una agencia de DJs, que tengo un montón de mujeres, nunca escuché que le pase eso a una mujer. Primero porque está apoyada por un montón de derechos para que las cuiden, para que las protejan, para que sepan defenderse. Pero, ¿en qué tipo de club fuiste a tocar? ¿Dónde?
Well, I wanted to add, actually, you sparked up an experience of mine. When I was doing my showcases, I had someone, I was just saying bye to them They were saying bye, and the man put his hand on my butt, like in front of my boyfriend playing on the screen, on my showcase, at my own showcase next to their wife.
Cristina, la última persona que me quiso tocar hacia
And they
acá.
went like that.
Fa.
They
No.
What do you call that? They like groped.
Yeah.
No, they groped, and you know.
¿Y qué
like, all we
hiciste?
did was,
¿Qué hiciste,
bueno, mi
Cristina?
novio lo vio y todo se formó rápido, se fue, y ya de ahí nunca más hablé con ellos porque yo no quería. Pero imagínate, I've never talked about this, but in my own showcase, it's not the place, it was the people. As I'm saying, I couldn't believe it. Like, as I'm saying bye next, it's just that people get under the influence and they do the craziest things.
Sí, pero como decías,
Y me cogió así in front of my boyfriend.
bueno, Sara, por ejemplo, decía que ella está preparada para la vida, para ponerse fuerte, porque bueno, aprendió cómo es todo y tiene que ponerse en ese mood de vida para poder protegerse. Pero entonces, a ver, me habías dicho, Cristi, que en ese momento estabas con tu novio y es como que está adecuado que el hombre tiene que defender a la chica. No, yo me defiendo.
yo me
voy,
fui-
a ver,
En ese
respetar y le doy un
momento,
coso en la cara.
I'll tell you what I did. Right after that, they left, and I kept it in to not make a big scene in general. I did do that because it was my showcase, so I didn't like cause a big scene. But then I found out after that they saw it and they dealt with it on their own. I didn't even know. I go, oh, I was gonna tell you, but I went straight to the bathroom. I know. Like, I just diffused myself from it, and then everything after. But I did that because, like I said, for me, my mindset was I'm not an attention person. So it's not about attention, or I know that the second I felt uncomfortable, I walked away. Luckily, that was the choice. Not everybody has a choice like that, because obviously if you're getting to that uncomfortable, but I was like, in my mind, they just touched me. So
I actually had a experience, this was maybe like a month or two ago, that I went to the Faina Hotel, and my roommate / business partner at the time was out of Miami for the weekend. And this guy comes up to me, I'm having my tequila soda, and comes up and touches my leg, like out of nowhere. I was like, excuse my language, but who the fuck is this guy?
Like, personal bubble, don't fucking touch me.
The problem is that no one understands personal boundaries. I mean, like, we're human beings. Like, okay, let's ask a very serious question here, right? So if this was your daughter, right, a guy approaches one of us, if this was your daughter, if I was your daughter, would you like that to happen to your daughter? No, right? Okay, so why are you doing it to me then? That's the real question of the day.
No, and that feeling though of like you knowing what the F, you know. I was out with friends once, and like we were just eating a slice of pizza at the end of the night, but this was recent, and I just remember we're outside of the pizza shop, but like sitting on chairs, so people are walking by, people hanging out, whatever, and then some guys just leaning there. But with my mindset now, I was like, excuse me, can you please not lean on me? Yeah. And instantly, I didn't feel bad though, because at the end of the day, why is this guy leaning on me? Why is he touching me? And that's the difference of the mindset. Like, that's the difference though of the mindset, that you sometimes, like, you might be in your mind like, oh, they're leaning on me, I might not, it's not a big deal. But at the end of the day, the second that person touched me, I knew it was wrong. So that's how much your awareness needs to be. I mean, this was probably like 4 months in sober for me, but it's just something so simple that I learned. I'm like, wow, I was proud of myself that the guy wasn't doing technically anything wrong. He just happened to lean a little bit, and I was just like, no. And he, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, yeah, you're leaning on me.
Hey.
And so that's the growth in mindset, though, that we shouldn't have to wait for so long to feel. 5 more minutes? Awesome. Thank you. But whatever
Pero
you
cuál es,
wanna
a ver,
add.
no puedo entender, pero es algo un poco más funny. No puedo entender cuál es el concepto ese de que los hombres necesitan, ay, le toco el culo a la, o sea, ¿cuál es? A ver. Yeah.
It's materialistic views.
Pero nosotras
Como-
las mujeres
Ah.
andamos buscando a los hombres, ay, vení que te
No,
toco. O sea, no se hace, dice, sí, mira.
no, lo que
Hey,
pasa,
bro. Okay,
lo que pasa es que they feel
Same.
they feel confident, like they feel powerful enough that they could do that.
Cuando creo que cuando un hombre cuando un hombre que está tomando alcohol se siente esa confidencia que nunca sentís sobrio.
The thing that annoys me is like, you know, a typical guy.
Se siente como Dios encima de aguas. En serio, es increíble para mí.
Like a typical guy when they're out, if they're looking for a girl, whatever, to bring home. The first thing they're looking at is her fucking ass. I mean, let's be real. But do girls be like, oh, let me look at his dick through his pants, see if he's good to, like, I just don't get it. But then they demand respect. They want this, they want that. Well, sorry, that's not how it works.
See you as a product.
Yeah, exactly.
The looks.
Product that you can just hang on your tree, right? You know, for Christmas. Well, oh my God. Yeah.
Let's just agree to that. That at the end of the day, that's what we are fighting against: women being seen as products.
No, Cristi, o sea,
That's
el problema, perdón, Sara.
That's what it is.
That's
what it is. You grab a product and an item, and you can do whatever you want to it.
That's the best way to put that.
Think
That's
of
literally the best way to
think
put
of
that.
like a Polly Pocket of you. A Polly Pocket, a little Barbie, and you do what you want to it. But we're not that. We're humans, and we have our control into what we want, and that's where the defense
Just get
comes.
a pocket pussy, man. Just do it. Because we're done with all you motherfuckers. I mean, I have a boyfriend, so I'm
Deadass.
good.
Honestly, I won't speak up what she
Let's calm
just
it
said,
down
but
over here.
honestly, like, you guys really need to find other ways to channel that type of need to dominate and aggression and all that other shit. You guys really need to find another way to channel that. Like, yo no sé qué vas a hacer, pero quédate en tu casa, en serio. Like,
Si usted no puede controlar, quédate en tu casa. Quédate en tu casa. Y si tú no puedes controlarlo. En serio.
So de ahí,
bueno, igual supongo que, poniendo balance, supongo que no todos son así, ¿no? No todos, no hay que generalizar. Porque después el problema, no. ¿Cómo pasa eso? ¿Cómo pasa eso? Porque algunas mujeres los permiten también. Yo voy a ponerme del otro lado. A ver, vamos a, tampoco que todos los hombres son así. Bueno, están las mujeres que los permiten, que van y las tocan así, no dicen nada, aunque
they do what you allow.
que- claro, a ver, vamos, lo que hay que hacer es que nadie permita cruzar esa parte de respeto que no tenés que tocar, no hay que tocar, o sea, no me puedo ni imaginar, bueno, la última vez que un chico trató de tocarme, así como yo dice, ¿qué estás así? Me di vuelta y me duele la mano todavía, estoy pensando, me duele la mano de le di vuelta la cara así que sí, a ti te di vuelta la cara y me mandó mensaje para pedirme perdón, pero mete tu mano en tu cuerpo, por no decir otra cosa. Contrólese. No, pero no sé si pasa eso, va, no sé.
Bueno, no, eso es que pasa, pero no se habla mucho, so no saben cuánto pasa.
Pe-
So it's just an idea that it is happening.
Tengo 2 hijas, o sea, a ver,
It is
o sea
happening,
que
pero
yo no las puedo, no les me
It
puedo
is-
imaginar.
It is happening, but it's in us to control it happening.
Exacto, necesitamos
So,
poner límites, decir,
ajá.
no, esto no lo puedes hacer, o sea,
Y
no.
se pierden las mujeres a veces y no saben como ese momento yo no sabía qué hacer. de la historia que me tocaron. Un año pasado, right when I started self.
No sabías qué hacer, o sea, a
Yo
ver,
me fui,
vamos a,
lo
vamos
que
a in-
sabía hacer es quitarme de eso, no provocar. No provoqué la situación. Now I'll be like, what the hell are you, like,
Tú no provocaste la situación de que te vayan y te toquen.
yo me fui al baño y yo sabía que se iban, pero yo noté que eso era extraño que me tocó.
Bueno, ahora les digo, le pegan una patada y lo vuelan, o sea, no me podés tocar así.
Yeah, exactly. And
Y no es be
100%,
aggressive.
no, I'll make a big scene, but the point is I know.
Claro, nadie te dijo lo que, o sea, no, tú no pensaste que alguien podía hacer una cosa así porque tú no eres
Yeah,
capaz de
exactly.
hacer una
That's
cosa
what it
así.
is. You don't know
Exacto.
until you know. So we're gonna leave it at that, though, because they have their next show now. But the point is, we have all these experiences, and we just have to emphasize on getting knowledge out to each other so that we avoid being treated in these ways, because it's happening. And I find out every day new stories of somebody relating to something that happened to me. So imagine how many stories come out of just your story.
I think that, just to finish off here, that it comes down to your ability to control yourself as a human being. It's self-control. I mean, it's not a difficult concept. It's not challenging. It's not something that a 5-year-old can't understand, because a 5-year-old's being taught this, but you can't do this, and you're a full-grown adult. And that's the problem, is that if you don't understand this, maybe you need to go back down to being 5 years old and relearn the topic again.
Yeah, it all boils down to what you're taught and what you know and what you want to apply. I taught kindergarten, so I made sure to teach the kids what
Absolutely,
I thought was
personal
right,
space
you know?
and boundaries.
But long story short, for our conversations, we're going to keep talking more every episode about women and our experiences. And we hope you enjoyed today's episode and conversations as we continue Girl Chat bi-weekly on Miami Community Radio. So thank you, Miami Community Radio, for having us. And thank you, everyone that was watching and is going to watch as well. I look forward to the responses.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you for Miami Community Radio having me today. And you know, the whole focus of this episode is to really just hone in on women in the workplace, women in real life, and we hope that, you know, you got some good advice and it helped you out. See you next time.
Thank you, for having me. I'm honored to be here and talk about such an, unfortunate topics that we've all experienced as women, but also maybe potentially foster a community where women feel more, entitled to speak about negative experiences, and on top of that, be encouraged to speak out against, these types of experiences, so they don't continue to keep happening. Honestly, like, it's as simple as that.
Bueno, gracias primero a mis amigas que podemos comunicar este tipo de situaciones porque son diferentes generation, así que está buenísimo. Hay cosas que yo no sabía que pasaban, no me podía imaginar, así que ya vamos a hablar, vamos a eso, está pendiente. Así que bueno, gracias a la radio, gracias Cristina por todo. Bye, peace.
Les quiero.